Hey, what's up? We're back. I'm Jason Wojo, and this is part 2 of Wojo's Wisdom. Last time we talked about, what did we talk about? We talked about where I started in training, we talked about DC training, and we talked about my pre-contest diet and cardio strategy. This time we have a couple other great questions that I'm going to try and answer. If you missed it the first time, the way you can get me questions for these series are by email, and that's jasonwojo@gmail.com. Over at the Dog Pound at Intense Muscle, there's a thread up that says questions for Wojo's Wisdom. You can post them over there, or there's also a thread on Muscle Mayhem in the discussion section, excuse me, that you can also post questions there as well. So let's get to it. One question that I noticed, and I'm looking at Intense Muscle questions right now. One of the questions that seems to be coming up a lot is balancing bodybuilding with day-to-day life. So we have a question from Samich, who also was echoed by another member, and basically it goes something like this. Samich asks, how did you balance the demands of grad school with the time required to continue lifting and eating right? And 68 Whiskey 201 says, how did you keep up with the strict training regimen day in and day out while still maintaining a social life? One of the things I think is greatly over-exaggerated in bodybuilding is the time that's required for successful participation. And by that I mean it really doesn't take that much time, and people, I think, don't realize that. I mean, when I go out to the grocery store or in public in general, the restaurant, people think I work out 2 hours, 3 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's this huge effort, but it's really not. What it takes is, quite honestly, good time management, and most of that comes in to do with preparing your meals and cooking your meals. But the training part of it isn't really that much of a big deal. I mean, I'm usually in and out of the gym in an hour and 15, sometimes an hour and 30, and I go, right now I'm doing 4 days a week because I'm on the DC training three-way split. But if you cook all your food up, go to BJ's, Sam's Club, whatever, buy your food in bulk, cook it all up on a Sunday for the week, and then you just portion it out when you're ready to eat. It's actually pretty quick. I mean, it doesn't take that much time. So, I mean, it's not that big a deal to try and implement that. Now, one thing that can become challenging is if your friends all want to, stay up late and party, go to the club and drink and stuff, then you might be faced with some decisions where you weigh out the benefits and disadvantages of that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with going out once a month or so and having a good time and drinking and stuff, but I don't think you can really keep that going for any extended period of time at a frequency more than that and still make the same amount of progress. So I don't think you can go out every weekend and get loaded and still make the same amount of progress as someone who doesn't, and someone who gets their rest. And in regards to grad school, it's actually a little easier than I thought it would be because after the first few years of school, when my classes are done, it's basically lab work. For those of you who don't know, I went to Duke and got my graduate degree, and it's pretty easy to schedule those meals in. And even if you were in classes, you can schedule those meals in between your classes. Bring a couple protein bars if you have to, or a shake. I mean, just be creative. Find ways to get calories in. Cashews, almonds, those are great sources of calories that you can carry around in your bag and just have a handful or two when you need to. So you have to be a little bit more creative maybe if you have other time commitments, but it's still absolutely easily attainable if you're disciplined and have that time management component ironed out. Okay, next question. This is from Echo to Meso. What's the best advice you ever received for weight training? And I'm also going to add this in here as for bodybuilding as well, because I've forgotten that question as well. The best advice I ever received for weight training was that you have to be consistent over time, and it's as simple as that. There are no quick answers in bodybuilding. I don't care what you do, you're not gonna have instant gratification. It takes time and consistency. Okay, you need to be disciplined. You need to enjoy bodybuilding. I have friends that go to the gym and will work out because they want to get girls at the beach or whatever. That's not going to keep you disciplined, you know, day in and day out, year after year, which is what is necessary to make progress over time. I've been doing this for like 15 years now, and I've put on about 100 pounds of weight since I started. That just takes time. That's it. I mean, if you average that out, you're looking at what, 7, 8 pounds a year over time. You know, if you average it out. So it just takes a lot of time. So be patient, work hard, be consistent, and just know that, you know, those results will come to you if you persist. Now, as far as bodybuilding, what's the best advice? I would have to say, 1, keep things in perspective, and 2, be realistic. Keeping things in perspective means it's only bodybuilding, okay? There's a whole another life out there that people can lose out on and miss out on if they become wrapped up in bodybuilding. You can be successful at bodybuilding and do these other things like I just mentioned. Do not let bodybuilding ruin your life. The video that just came out, raising the bar or whatever. I haven't seen the video, but I've heard of this guy who just shuns his entire family and all of his friends because he has to be a bodybuilder. That's ridiculous. A huge mistake. Don't do it. It's unnecessary. You'll succeed actually quicker, I believe, by having a balanced life rather than being 110% bodybuilding. Okay, so the other thing is being realistic. This industry, in bodybuilding in general, fitness, all this, everything, tends to, I think, maybe attract people that are a little bit delusional. And that may sound harsh, and it probably is harsh, but people have to realize they have limitations. Physical limitations, genetic limitations, financial limitations, all kinds of limitations. Some people, no matter how hard you train, you will never look like, I will never look like Kevin Levrone. I will never look like Flex Wheeler, no matter what I do. Okay, Jay Cutler will never look like Flex Wheeler. Everybody has their own set of limitations that are distinct, and you have to learn to live with those. Not saying that as an excuse for not maximizing your potential, but you have to keep it realistic. Some people will never be on a national level bodybuilding stage because of those genetic limitations, although they may achieve great things compared to where they start. So you have to keep even in perspective where you came from, what you're doing with your God-given abilities. All of us were given talents and potential to be great, so you just have to keep that in perspective. Maybe your level is, maybe you're pro caliber, maybe you're regional bodybuilding caliber, maybe you're local. I mean, everyone's different. Just keep it in perspective. Never settle, but always, just be realistic. Know where you stand and what you can do with that. I think that's about actually all we have time for. That seemed to go exceptionally short this time. I probably dragged on a little bit on some of those answers. I apologize. But I will see you back here for part 3 next. Hope you enjoyed it.